Level 1. It has been said before that there is no such thing as a low power guardian, and that a guardian's power is developed through discipline and experience. Ikora has even said that discussions over guardian power are shallow and that the spectrum is complex. But the guardians placed in level 1 lack both experience in the field and any form of discipline. This is because the guardians of this level are new lights, fresh risen, who have absolutely no experience in the wild. All light bearers begin in this level, and there are plenty of risen who are just beginning their legend today. Many have experienced similar things when they were first risen. Starvation, suffering, constant death and rebirth, all on their journey to the Traveler. Level 2. The guardians in this level have more experience in the field. They have worked to develop their first subclass, but still struggle against the many forces of darkness and evil within the solar system. Caster 3 and Maeve, members of Sha Han's fire team, are examples of guardians in this level. Caster 3 and Maeve were killed by Navota, air spawn in the Cosmodrome. These two guardians, even Sha Han himself, struggle against the Hive and Navota. Navota was then killed by our guardian and their fire team, without much of a struggle at all. Caster 3 and Maeve get an edge over level 1, as they have at least served on a fire team and have some experience, but beyond that, have shown no above average qualities. There are plenty of other guardians who could be placed in this level, but the ones in the levels above are far more interesting. A champion of defense, embodiment of hope, the ultimate Death Knight. He's an ancient warrior wielding godlike powers and... wait, hold on. This isn't a guardian from Destiny. No, this is a hero from Raid Shadow Legends, a free-to-play mobile game with an almost endless amount of content, immense world building, and over 800 heroes. I know you're probably itching to skip this segment, but don't. You're not gonna want to miss what comes next. In this new update, the ultimate Death Knight returns to the game. He's like a titan from Destiny, and his godlike powers allow him to deflect projectiles back to the enemy, heal himself when his enemy heals, and his powers are efficient in both PvE and PvP. The best part is that the Ultimate Death Knight is a free legendary that you can claim right now by using the link in the description, QR code on screen, and by using code UDKING if you're a new player. By using my link or QR code, you can instantly unlock a huge starter pack with epic ultimate Galek, level 15 will award you Zargala, and new players can choose one of 6 legendary champions of their choice by using the promo codes on screen right now. You can only pick one, but Sun Wukong is definitely my favorite. Use my link in the description or QR code for these amazing rewards, and you can find me in-game with my name right here. And I'll see you in the battlefield. Level 3. Guardians in level 3 are above average, having displayed some significant power. They are proficient with one subclass, and perhaps know how to wield another form of light, but they are not masters of either just yet. Sha Han is the vanguard operator stationed in Old Russia. He wears the young Ahamkara's spine and the strides of the Great Hunt, armor claimed from the depths of the Dreaming City in the Last Wish raid. However, these were not earned honestly. He picked up the exotic gauntlets from a thrift shop and has claimed to have never visited the Dreaming City, so the way he got that Last Wish armor is unknown. Many find Sha Han to be the worst guardian, and while that isn't baseless, he is placed in this level for one specific reason. A lore tab describes Sha Han in the heat of battle, fighting against Cabal. He uses his golden gun to empower a squad of red jacks like a well of radiance. This expression of skill is the only time we see a hunter perform something like this. Besides that, Sha Han shows no other exceptional power though. He's also kind of mean. He leaves us to die in the New Light campaign and severely underestimates us. Crow is the current Hunter Vanguard, taking after Cayde 6, and was formerly known as Uldren Sov. In his past life, Uldren Sov was the brother of Queen Marasov, and became corrupted by Riven. This led to Uldren murdering Cayde 6. Our Guardian, alongside Petrovenge, killed Uldren Sov, avenging Cayde. Uldren was then resurrected by a ghost known as Glint, also known as Pulled Pork, and became the light bearer known as Crow. Over the last few years, Crow would learn of his past self and bear responsibility for Uldren's actions. Crow is a good-hearted character, and that has cemented him as the Hunter Vanguard. And he is not without skill. He was present during our war in the Pale Heart, wielding a golden gun that pushed back the Witness. But his legend is only just beginning, and that may change with time. Shiro 4 is a Hunter Blade Dancer and Vanguard Scout. He is an expert weaponsmith, having created the Trespasser and aided in the construction of the Outbreak Prime. He fought in the Battle of Six Fronts, one of the earliest conflicts fought by the last city. Shiro 4 was part of a fire team alongside Cayde 6 and Andal Brask. The three of them got into battles with Taniks, the Scarred, which ultimately led to the death of Andal Brask. When Cayde 6 became Hunter Vanguard, he tasked Shiro with collecting intel across Earth, Venus, and the Moon. He also engaged in frequent hit-and-run attacks on Fallen. Shiro was an important figure during the Siva crisis, where he worked with our Guardian and Lord Saladin with destroying the technology and ending the reign of the Devil Splicers. His experience led to the end of Sepix Perfected, the destruction of the terrible experiments of Kavik, Splicer Priest, and the death of Axis, Archon Prime. The Vanguard views Shiro 4 as an invaluable extension of their force beyond the city, and for that reason, Shiro 4 is placed in this level. Micah 10 is a hunter, serving as a den mother of ghosts for the Vanguard. She was born Micah Abram, living on Europa during the Golden Age, and had peculiar dreams. Hundreds of years later, she was risen on Earth, and found solace in traveling with packs of ghosts who had not yet found their guardian. This led her into frequent altercations with Cyrell, the Ghost Hunter, a rogue light-bearer who murdered ghosts who had not yet found their guardian, dragging their shells on a chain. Years later, during the battle against the Witness, Queen Marasov recruited Micah 10 to aid in the healing of the Traveler, by discovering lost ghosts around the solar system. Through her efforts, she gained a strange connection to the Traveler, receiving odd visions that no other character has before. Level 4. Guardians in this level have proven themselves in the field. They are a master of one subclass, and possibly know two very well. Some may have a unique connection to light or darkness. Sloane is a Titan and Zavala's deputy commander. She's an older Guardian, having helped construct the walls that surround the last city. She was there when the Hive first appeared on Earth, and she fought in the Battle of Twilight Gap, the intense conflict when many fallen houses assaulted the city all at once. When the Red Legion invaded Sol and sieged the last city, Sloane alongside Zavala and hundreds of Guardians escaped to Titan. There, we worked with Zavala and Sloane to rebuild and rally the Vanguard and surviving Guardians. It was ultimately a success, and Sloane played a pivotal role in taking down the Red Legion. Years later, when the Black Fleet invaded the solar system, Sloane decided to stay on Titan. She donned a suit of power armor and battled against the onslaught of Hive. Alone on Titan, she bonded with the creature deep within the Methane Sea, Asa the Proto-Worm. She was able to partially communicate with the creature, learning a lot about the Witness and the Traveler. She also encountered Xivu Arath, the Hive God of War, who attempted to take her. Sloane resisted the Taken corruption initially, but her condition worsened over time. Years later, Titan returned to us, and we would aid Sloane and Asa. During the events of episode Heresy, Sloane taught us how to channel Taken energy without letting it control or corrupt us. A display of might and resolve. Not many can resist a Taken corruption. Because of her unique connection to the Taken, Asa, and the Light, as well as being Zavala's deputy, she is placed in this level. Eris Morn was once a hunter blade dancer, and she's an expert on Hive lore. She served in the Great Ahamkara hunt, fighting the Wish Dragons alongside Wei Ning, Ikora Rey, Zavala, and Shax on many different occasions. Following the Great Disaster, legendary Warlock Ariana 3 led a fire team to avenge the thousands of Guardians that were killed by Crota and his Hive. She was in a state of grief, as her partner Wei Ning was murdered by the God Knight. Ariana 3, Eris, Toland, Saimota, Amor Aga, and Vel Tarlo delved into the Hellmouth. Vel Tarlo, a Titan of the Pilgrim Guard, who was known for his strength and courage, having battled Hive and ended warlords, was the first to fall. He was overwhelmed by thrall that consumed his light, and Alakul the Darkblade rose from the shadows and killed the Titan with his axe. Sai, a blade dancer, was killed, leaving Ariana alone, hurt, and drained of her light. What was left of her light burned bright as Iryut killed her with her death song. Toland was detached from his group and found Iryut, the death singer. He fell to her death song, which destroyed his body, redefined his existence, and gave him the ability to survive in the Ascendant Realm as an Ascendant soul. Omar, a hunter gunslinger, was captured by the Heart of Crota. He was tortured, his light painfully removed from his body, which felt like stripping muscle from bone. Omar reawakened after his death in the body of an insect, and eventually placed into the Xenophage exotic. Eris was the last one standing. Her fire team was dead, and her own ghost Braya sacrificed herself to save Eris. She felt an immense amount of guilt, as she had watched all of her friends die. Eris, without light and without hope, somehow survived in the Hellmouth for years, using Toland's journal as a guide to the Hive. She held the bone of an Ahamkara that she had slayed with Ikora. Using it, she wished for a way to survive, which replaced her eyes with Hive eyes and a way out. Eris is a tricky one to place, as over the years she would grow in power, even becoming the Hive God of Vengeance for a moment, the most powerful Hive God in existence, and created her own throne world. But only judging her time as a guardian places her in this level, which is what the purpose of this video is. The Drifter is a man who has gone by many names. He is a rogue lightbearer, not tied to any specific class, and handler of Gambit. It's hard to even call him a guardian as he doesn't align with the Vanguard. Drifter is pretty old, being risen in the Dark Age where he witnessed the rise and fall of the Warlords. At the beginning of the City Age, Drifter and a crew of lightbearers went out in search of power, and discovered an ice planet that repelled the light. On this strange planet, they encountered shadow creatures that had the ability to suppress their light. These shadow creatures killed the lightbearers of Drifter's crew, forcing the man to take the ghost shells of his fallen friends and modify his own ghost, giving it a unique connection to the light. When the Black Fleet came to the solar system in Season of Arrivals, Drifter teamed up with Elsie Bray and Eris Morn, learning how to wield stasis. They encountered House Salvation, and Drifter struggled against the Elixni. Drifter is a hard one to rank. He has not displayed mastery over the light like other Guardians, we've actually rarely seen him use it, but he has an advantage in his cunning and intelligence. Osiris once consulted him on the engineering of the Sundial, Osiris' superstructure used to waft through time to bring back Saint 14. Cayde 6 is placed in this level. I know this might upset some of you, and while Cayde is one of the best written characters, his power does not match the ones in the level above. Cayde 6 was a wild card, known for his bravery, cunning, and courage. Cayde was a master of the wild, having a plethora of hidden chests and stashes around the solar system. Cayde 6 killed Tannix, the Scarred, the fallen mercenary who eventually came back to life and killed Endal Brask. Endal Brask was the Hunter Vanguard, and his death prompted Cayde to become the Hunter Vanguard. During the events of Forsaken, Cayde traveled to the Prison of Elders alongside Petrovenge and the Guardian to end a prison riot. This ultimately led to his death at the hands of the Scorn and Uldren Sov. Cayde 6 put up a valiant effort against the Scorn, using both Golden Gun and Blade Barrage in the fight, but he lost his ghost, Sundance, in the process. Cayde was ultimately killed by Uldren Sov. Years later, Crow wished for Cayde's return, who served as a guide for us during the final shape. And while he did not have a ghost, he was a being made of light, and he sacrificed himself to resurrect our ghost from death. Cayde was a master gunslinger and a proficient blade dancer. While he was very cunning and courageous as a hunter, he did not display levels of power as the Guardians beyond this level. Level 5. The Guardians in this level outclass the others by being some of the most legendary and powerful to ever live. They all are either masters of 2 subclasses or demonstrate power never seen before. The man with the golden gun, Shin Malphur. Shin Malphur was resurrected as a child by the ghost Tianxie. This aspect has been debated on, but Bungie writers have actually confirmed in the past that this was true. Shin Malphur would age, which is an oddity for Lightbearers, as they normally do not age, and he would eventually reach his peak physical self. Tianxie would be killed by Fallen Raiding Party, and in the ghost's last words, told the child that he would have 1 life left. Shin was raised in the town of Palamon, where he met the hunter Jaren Ward, who wielded the last word. Jaren Ward was killed by Dredgen Yor, a rogue lightbearer corrupted by darkness who wielded the thorn. Dredgen Yor saw something special within Shin, but decided to leave the boy alone. Shin and Jaren's ghost would work together, the boy growing up to become a hunter and wield the last word. He eventually encountered Dredgen Yor at Dwindler's Ridge. Here they had their epic showdown, and Shin Malphur empowered the last word into a golden gun, destroying Dredgen Yor. Years later, in response to Guardians curious in the Dredgen Yor myth, Shin Malphur created the Shadows of Yor, under an alternate persona to weed out and lure Guardians who would fall into corruption just like Yor. Once the trap was set, Shin Malphur culled the weak-willed. Shin Malphur is a tricky one to rank, since his story is so odd and has been heavily debated. Some of you might think he should be in the level below, and some of you might think he should be in the level above. It kinda comes down to your own interpretations of the story. But he only had 1 ghost his entire life. Bungie writer John Goff clarified this, saying that Shin and Jaren's ghosts were never paired. They just worked together. This means Shin was ghostless, but still had light within him that was strong enough to bring the deaths of Dredgen Yor and all of those in the Shadows of Yor. Shin was also very adept in the Crucible, which is pretty wild considering that he went into the arena always on his last life. He never died, and I think this intrinsic light within him places the gunslinger here. Veteran of the Great Ahamkara Hunt and legendary Titan Wei Ning. She was the leader of the Firebreak Order and partner of Ariana III. She was also the wielder of both Arc and Void Light, finding that it was easiest to form a Word of Dawn when she was angry. During the Great Ahamkara Hunt, she and Eris Morn ventured out into Venus and slayed 7 of the creatures by coming up with a wish to lure them into battle. Ikora Rey and Wei Ning fought the dragon Azarim, who placed Ikora into a trance that Wei Ning broke her out of by punching her in the face. Wei Ning was the creator of the Fighting Lion, crafting it to mimic the power of her fists. Her punches were so strong that they could move mountains. Wei Ning met her demise in the moon during the Great Disaster, as she challenged Crota to a fight, but fell to his Darkblade. Member of House Bray, the voice of Rasputin, the legendary hunter Anna Bray. Anna Bray is a gunslinger who has a deep connection to the Bray family, Rasputin, and the Last City. In her past life, she was a psycholinguist and helped develop the Warmind Rasputin. When she was risen, she found an ID badge on her that told her her name. This prompted Anna to investigate her past life. She and Zavala got into frequent arguments regarding Anna's investigation of the past. This came to a head during the Battle of Twilight Gap. There was an onslaught of Elixni raiders. Anna Bray's golden gun was so strong that it left pools of light wherever it touched. Quote, when she fired the gun, where her golden blasts hit home, she left behind the pools of light, like splashes of sunlight that burned and burned. And these pools of light were there long past the battle. This was a display of true power and strength that we have never seen before. During the battle, Zavala ordered all Guardians to retreat, claiming the city was lost. Anna, alongside Shax, Louis Feng, Nikichi 32, Idil Abidi, and Truce, held back the fallen onslaught, defeating thousands, which gave the others time to spring a counterattack. She held back the onslaught of fallen. Later on in this battle, Anna allowed a fallen captain to knock her off the side of a cliff, so that she could fake her death. Believed to be dead, Anna investigated her past freely, without Vanguard oversight. She dived deep into her family's history, eventually arriving in the Martian Hellas Basin. She discovered the presence of Frozen Hive among the Warmind facilities, leading into the conflict of Warmind. Over the years, Anna has helped us put a stop to many threats, and proved her strength as a Guardian. Hero of 6 fronts, Master Tactician, the Titan Vanguard Commander Zavala. Zavala is the vanguard of the Titans and commander over the Last City. He oversees all Guardian operations and has led the charge in all of our battles. His tactical brilliance was a contributing factor to many of our victories, including the Taken War, the Red War, and the war against the Witness. Zavala arrived in the Last City when it was just a small camp beneath the Traveler. He became a student of Lord Saladin, and eventually Vanguard Commander, following Saint 14. He led the charge at Twilight Gap, battling against hordes of fallen, and then went on to slay many Ahamkara. When the Red Legion invaded, Zavala's Word of Dawn protected Cayde, Ikora, and many operators in the Hall of Guardians, holding back the fire of the Cabal's missiles, a display of true might. He led us to victory in the Red War and the many conflicts after, including the clash with the Chosen, the Lucian War, and the Final Shape, where he tragically lost his light. Zavala was a master of 2 subclasses, Striker and Sentinel, and that's something not to be ignored. Very few Guardians ever learn 2 subclasses, let alone master them. His tactical brilliance and leadership coupled with his sheer strength place him in this level. Youngest of the Iron Lords, Blade Dancer and Gunslinger Lady Ephrodite. Ephrodite, alongside Saladin, are the only 2 surviving original Iron Lords. In the Dark Age, she found Saladin, and asked to join the Iron Lords during a battle against the Fallen. During this fight, she picked up the Titan, hoisted him onto her shoulder, and then they both channeled Arc Light. The mountain that they stood on rumbled, and she threw Saladin with so much force that he crashed through the clouds and into the fallen walker, leaving a crater in his wake. She and Saladin would then go on to battle in Ahamkara, and she herself once defeated 3 warlords with ease. She would later leave Earth, joining a pacifist group of Lightbearers in the far reaches of the solar system, only returning to Earth to help Saladin during the Siva Crisis and the Red War. During the Red War, she killed 216 Cabal with 199 bullets. After this, she returned to her home, somewhere in the solar system. Leader of the Iron Lords, legendary Titan, Lord Radagast. Radagast assembled Perun, Yolder, and Saladin to establish the Iron Lords in order to fight against the Warlords. He defended the city during the Battle of 6 Fronts, fighting hordes of Elixni. There's an Elixni war hymn that describes how Radagast destroyed many Elixni, only stopped by Kyrvix, King Killer, who was able to force him to retreat. He battled the warlords Seagoth and Rience, who tormented the innocent. While he did defeat warlords, he held the Iron Decree, which barred the Iron Lords from killing Risen permanently. He would always spare their ghosts. Radagast tragically perished in the Battle of Site 6, destroyed by Siva. While there's not much else known about this titan, Saint 14 regarded him on the same level as Ikora. He was once asked, quote, "Have you ever lost a fight?" with Saint responding, "More than I can count. I am no Ikora Rey, no Radagast." This implies Radagast was near the same level as Ikora during that time, known for being almost unbeatable. For this reason, he's placed in level 5. Old Wolf, Valus Forge, Lord Saladin. This titan is one of the only surviving members of the original Iron Lords. Lord Saladin and the Iron Lords brought the construction of the last city, and Saladin defended their home during the Battle of Six Fronts. He was the only Iron Lord to survive Siva, and hosted the Iron Banner in honor of his fallen comrades. Alongside Zavala and Shaxx, Saladin held the line against the Fallen during the Battle of Twilight Gap. Decades later, our Guardian and Saladin would work together to put an end to Siva for good, destroying it in the Perfection Complex. Years later, during the events of Season of the Risen, Saladin took on the punishment for the actions of Crow, who had accidentally killed one of Cayde's scions. Saladin became part of Cayde's war council, and was challenged to fight 6 times in a single week by her Cabal champions. Saladin won every battle, defeating even Avalis, the 3rd highest rank of the Cabal army. Dark Horse of Iron, son of the tyrant, Lord Felwinter. Felwinter was a master Voidwalker, wielder of the Dawnblade, and former warlord. Lord Felwinter is an interesting case, as he is part Warmind, part Guardian. In the Golden Age, Respian executed a protocol known as the Siddhartha Golem, which created an exo to gather information. This exo went dormant due to the collapse, but was revived by a ghost, becoming Felwinter. He claimed the mountain known as Felwinter Peak, and established his rule as a warlord. He encountered the Iron Lord Timur, and instead of fighting him, he showed him the potential of Siva. As a display of loyalty, he gave his mountain to the Iron Lords, which became their base of operations. Felwinter was a force of power in the field, and displayed no mercy to his enemies. He was brutal, and caused the final deaths of many warlords by destroying their ghosts. He once captured a warlord's ghost and embedded it into the back of his helmet, much to the disgust of his fellow Iron Lords. On one occasion, he battled a warlord known as Seitan, defeating him with a void-empowered shoulder charge, a technique taught to him by the Titan Yolder. Level 6. The Guardians in this level easily outclass the ones before. They are masters of multiple subclasses, demonstrating power that no Guardian has come close to. Lord of War, Master Swordsmith, Hero of Twilight Gap, Lord Shaxx. Lord Shaxx is the manager and overseer of the Crucible, and a titan with a plethora of accolades to his name. He is a master of 3 subclasses, Defender, Sunbreaker, and Striker, which is incredibly significant. He was a former warlord, challenged by Lord Felwinter countless times. One of these battles was very brutal. Quote, "Felwinter stepped forward, dragged a solar sword from the air, and thrust it at Shaxx. The warlord turned his stance sideways as the burning blade sang past his helm, ducked the horizontal cut that followed, and stepped back as Felwinter drove the blade into the stone floor. The chamber erupted with ethereal fire and solar light. Shaxx's backfist took Felwinter's head from his shoulders in a shower of sparks. The Iron Lord's light died with his crumbling form. Felwinter continued to challenge Shaxx, but the Titan always won. In the end, Shaxx submitted to the Iron Lords, leading his people to the small camp that eventually became the last city. In the Great Ahamkara hunt, Shaxx slayed the Ahamkara known as Heffend and fought in the Battle of Six Fronts. During the Battle of Twilight Gap, Shaxx defied the orders of the Vanguard to retreat, instead rallied a small fire team to hold off the fallen horde, which proved to be the right decision. Shaxx has an unbreakable resolve and will, which has placed him in this level. The Gallant, Champion of the Crucible, Warlock Vanguard Ikora Rey. Ikora Rey is one of the most powerful warlocks to ever live. While Ikora finds discussions regarding Guardian power shallow, she was measured to be a 5th Sigma Guardian, 1 in 3.5 million. There's expected to be only 10 other Guardians of similar power, but Ikora was once only 1 Sigma above average power. It was through experience in the field and the Crucible that sharpened her power and abilities. It was by her own resolve and discipline that she became so powerful. Ikora is a master of 4 subclasses: Voidwalker, Stormcaller, Shadebinder, and Broodweaver. She effortlessly switches between using Arc and Void Light, as seen in the Witch Queen campaign. Her Void abilities are so strong that she once unleashed both a Nova Bomb then activated a Nova Warp within a few seconds of each other. She is a master of the Blink ability, able to cross huge gaps of distance. She once held a nuclear reactor together during the events of the Edge of Fate, by continuously dying over and over to hold it up. During her early years, she was a champion of the Crucible, the first to ever have a 25-match streak victory, and the first to beat Shaxx. Ikora served in the Great Ahamkara Hunt, slaying dozens of Wish Dragons. On one occasion, she and Erismorn battled an army of Ahamkara, taking them out with a storm of combined Arc Light. Ikora was a student of Osiris. She then went on to conduct her own studies and research, cementing her as one of the smartest and knowledgeable guardians to ever live. Ikora is arguably the strongest guardian to ever live, and some say that we still have not yet seen all of her power. Warden of the Infinite Forest, Phoenix of the Dark Ages, Scholar of the Cosmos, Osiris. Osiris was one of the most powerful guardians before he lost his light. He studied under Felwinter, becoming just as powerful as him, quickly surpassing the Iron Lord's abilities. Osiris was radical in the eyes of the Vanguard. His study of the Hive and Vex led to prophecies regarding the light and darkness. These prophecies and messages led to the creation of the Cult of Osiris, followers of him who spread his word. This ultimately led to Osiris' exile from the city, as he was deemed a heretic. He would enter the Infinite Forest on Mercury in search of more information and knowledge of the Vex. In the Infinite Forest, he created reflections, copies of himself imbued by the light that he could control. Our Guardian would work with Osiris and his reflections during the events of the Curse of Osiris, where we would defeat Panoptes. Years later, Osiris discovered Vashir and Kinox, daughters of Crota, and the High Celebrant, an emissary of Xivu Arath. It was in this battle Osiris displayed his true strength, as he used supers from all 3 elements seamlessly. He wielded a Dawnblade in each hand, and using his reflections, sent light crashing down onto the Hive. Quote, Osiris distinguishes a blade into his palm to form a singularity of void and hurls a Nova Bomb that consumes them. With his other blade, he drives it into the ground, erupting a well of radiance surrounded by a phalanx of gilded echoes. Nobles shriek for their thralls to charge. Bolts of flame and arc tear through them as Osiris blinks through the void from one echo to another. Their advance breaks. He steps over their smoldering husks and turns the blaze to their masters. Later in the fight, battling a projection of Xivu Arath, Osiris uses Sunsinger and immediately after uses a Chaos Reach of Arclight. In the end, Osiris was overwhelmed by the High Celebrant and the forces of Xivu Arath. Sagira sacrificed herself to destroy the projection of Xivu Arath and the cryptolith that casted it, but at the cost of Osiris' light. In a state of vulnerability, Savathun possessed Osiris, taking on his body like a puppet. Years later, Osiris would be free, learning the powers of Strand, but without his ghost and without his light. But still, Osiris is one of the most powerful to ever live. He demonstrated that he was a true master of all 3 light abilities, using them in quick succession of each other. He was just using super after super after super. That has not been seen anywhere else. For that reason, the Phoenix is placed in this level. The Pigeon, the Violet King, the greatest Titan who ever lived, Saint 14. Saint 14 is one of the strongest guardians to ever live, and arguably the greatest Titan of all time. He was the first Titan Vanguard and the right hand of the Speaker, who considered him as a son. Saint 14 was a master of the light, wielding all 3 elements, but was most proficient with Void. During his early years, Saint 14 took to Zephyr Station on Mercury and encountered the Vex. Overrun by the Fallen of House Rain and pinned down in his Ward of Dawn, Saint 14 was hopeless, but our Guardian used the Sundial, returning to this moment to save Saint and give him the perfect Paradox shotgun. This fight inspired Saint 14 to become the Titan of Legend. Our Guardian played an important role in that. We are viewed as his savior. Saint 14 would then go on to fight in the Battle of 6 Fronts, prompting him to go on a crusade against the Elixni Raiders. He destroyed fallen houses like it was nothing, killing countless with ease, becoming a monster of myth among the Elixni. He battled in Twilight Gap, and after, hunted down Sulcus, Kill of the House of Devils. The battle was tough, Saint expending a lot of his light, but he killed Sulcus by headbutting him with the horn of his helmet. When Osiris was exiled and entered the Infinite Forest on Mercury, Saint 14 went searching for him. He spent decades in the Infinite Forest, slaying thousands of Vex. The Vex were forced to create Agioctics, Martyrmind, a Vex mine designed to drain the light of Saint 14 specifically. Saint 14 was ultimately defeated, but out of respect, the Vex created a tomb for him, surrounded by countless Vex chassis that he had destroyed. Using the sundial once more, we returned to the moment of his death and prevented the Titan from dying. This led to the return of Saint 14. Saint 14 continued to display his power in our time. When Savathun was resurrected in Season of the Witch, which we did in order for her to help us, Saint 14 tracked her down in her throne world. He ambushed her with his sentinel shield and took her ghost of Maru in his hands, demanding him to bring her back to life so that he could kill her once more. Saint continued to kill Savathun over and over and over again, insulting her each time and then killing her. He eventually left her and returned to Osiris and wept. During the final battle against the Witness, Saint 14's Ward of Dawn stood strong in the face of the endless forces of darkness. Level 7. Crota's End, Kingslayer, Riven's Bane, Godslayer, the Young Wolf, the Guardian, you. Our player character, the Guardian, is the most powerful Guardian of all time, and deserves a level all to their own. While many of our greatest defeats have been alongside a fire team of 6 or 3, we didn't solo the Witness or Oryx canonically, we are still the most powerful to ever live. Just by the fact that we were an instrumental part of these fire teams says so much about our character. Our Guardian has been such an important factor to the deaths of the strongest beings in the entire galaxy. Our Guardian is a master of both light and darkness. We are a master of Void, Solar, Arc, Stasis, and Strand, which is something that even Guardians in level 6 do not match. This manifested in Prismatic, where we are able to wield both light and darkness all at once, transcending to a new level of paracausality. Our Guardian is the only person that can wield Prismatic, that can command light and darkness at the same time. No other Guardian can seamlessly use light and darkness at once in the way we can. Our Guardian is consistently the Vanguard's #1 operator for new dangers and threats. It was our Guardian who inspired Saint 14 when he was trapped on Mercury. It was our Guardian who crippled the House of Devils and destroyed the Black Heart. It was us who helped destroy Atheon and Skolas and Crota and Oryx. It was our Guardian that destroyed Siva and avenged the Iron Lords. It was our Guardian that aided the Traveler in destroying Gaul and the Red Legion. We are the ones who destroyed Panoptes, the Infinite Mind, and Zol, Will of the Thousands. We were the ones who avenged Cayde 6, killing Uldren Sov and the Scorn Barons. We were there for the destruction of Riven of 1,000 Voices and the High Celebrant of Xivu Arath. We were the Vanguard's chosen champion against Caidel's armies. We destroyed Kuria, Blade Transform, and Savathun and her Lucent Brood. It was our Guardian who helped slay Nezarec, Rolk, and Callus. It was our Guardian who was the chosen Seraph of Rasputin and the first to master Strand. It was us who tithed to Eris Morn, and it was our Guardian that Oryx chose as his heir presumptive, the knife of his slaying. It was our Guardian that helped destroy the Witness, the being that threatened the entire universe and brought humanity's collapse. It is our Guardian who is the Gardener's final argument. It is our Guardian who transcended light and darkness in Prismatic. It is our Guardian who became legend. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you channel members for your continued support. If you enjoyed, please let me know in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more videos like this one, click the video on screen right now. Don't forget to download Raid Shadow Legends using my link in the description for some exclusive rewards. And again, thank you for watching.